All right, you guys, here is this week's Obsessed with Coaching training video. The topic this week is social media. This is definitely a pretty important topic considering our business is based on social media. So take a peek. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me just share my screen. What did I do here? I was trying to turn off my notifications on my computer so that when the video is playing, they're not popping up on my screen throughout it, but I can't figure out how to do it. So I'm sorry, but regardless, you can still hear all the content. And you guys, this is great content from top coaches and one of our celebrity trainers, Autumn Calabrese is definitely like a fitness icon. She has a number of Beachbody programs. She's just amazing. And it's awesome that she's taking the time to interview these top coaches each week on a different topic and that I'm able to share it with you guys. So make sure you're tuning in, plugging in, applying what you're learning. All right, let me just get to the video. So this one is with Jen Richardson.
Everybody, happy Sunday. I hope everybody's Sunday was wonderful, that everybody had a lovely Mother's Day. So I am on live now, just waiting for all of you guys to jump on and join in. We are going to be chatting tonight. We're going to be talking more social media. So Jen, I'm bringing her on camera right now. With amazing coach Jen Richardson, all about social media. So last week we talked with Christina Delgado, and we talked specifically about last week about Instagram stories. So I've got Jen on with us this week, and we're going to just be talking all things social media. So hi, Jen.
Hi.
Welcome.
Can you see me okay? I've never done this before. Like the dual.
Yeah, I totally can see you. We're sharing the screen. Right?
This is awesome.
Super cool. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I'm exhausted. Are you?
You know what? If I'm being completely honest, I'm not, because my son was with his dad today.
Oh.
So I got the day off.
Oh.
I got to see him for like 2 hours. We hung out for 2 hours, and then Mom got the rest of the day to herself.
That's kind of amazing, though. I'm like, I love you guys, but I kind of wanted to lay on the couch and just like do that.
Basically, yes. My ex-husband was like, do you want him for the day? And I was like, I really don't. I love him to death, but I don't want to play entertain the kid today. Like,
that's the truth. So true.
Right? So here we are. So last week we spoke with Christina Delgado, like I said, and we were talking specifically Instagram stories last week, like all about using Instagram stories, sharing your stories, apps that you use. And yes, I know I need to do my post for you guys to pick the winners from last week. So I'm going to post that after our chat with Jen, and I will announce next week's challenge as well. But so Jen's on, and she's just going to talk to us about, we're going to talk about social media in general. I think you do a fantastic job on this. You grow your following. So we're just going to chat away, and if I see people asking questions, I'll sort of pause and ask their questions so that we're making sure we're covering everything for everybody.
Awesome.
So talk to me, Jen, a little bit about, like, so there's so many platforms out there, and the biggest question is always, do I have to be on all of the platforms, and do I put the same content on all of the platforms? So let's start with that. How do you feel about that?
So I think there are so many, and I feel like pick two that you like and do those two really well. Don't try to do all of them, because I feel like if you do too many, you're going to end up being mediocre at all of them and not excelling at one. So, and I would also look at the platforms for what kind of people are in which place. So for me, when I started coaching, Facebook was my war market. It was like friends, coworkers, people from college. All of those people were kind of like, cool, you're doing the Beachbody thing. Don't want to buy it. Don't want to do any of it. So it was kind of one of those things where I got where Facebook was warm. And so Instagram became cold market. And so I think as a coach, if we're trying to build a business, we have to look at these social platforms as what kind of people are we attracting in each platform and what is each platform going to be good for. So I really feel like Facebook is warm market. So if you're a newer coach or you're a coach that has a lot of friends and family that are interested in that kind of stuff, Facebook's kind of warm. And then Instagram is cold. And I know there's probably like a huge mix of coaches that are like, I have no warm market at all, and others feel pretty good. They have like a decent amount of people that are interested. So that would be the biggest thing, I would say. Snapchat, yeah, is like one of those platforms that it goes up and down. Personally, I don't use it anymore. I use Instagram stories. I think Christina talked last week about that. Yeah, Instagram, I feel like, is a better way to network and connect with people you don't know. So that would be my first tip for people, to kind of look at the platforms and ask yourself, why am I using this platform? Where do I feel comfortable with this platform? What am I doing here? And then kind of go from there on how you want to use it.
I love that. I think that that's really important. I get asked all the time, well, are you on all the platforms? And at one point, I was working with this brand management team to sort of like collaborate, help me come up with new ideas. And they were like, you have to be on all the platforms. And it was so stressful to me. I was like, I can't.
Like, overwhelming.
Like, I don't even know. Like, it's so overwhelming. I was like, I don't even know what I would do on all of them. Like, how do you keep all the content original?
Right.
So, and if it's not original, what's the point? So I love that whole, like, pick two. And I love knowing, like you said, Facebook is a more warm market maybe because we've been on that a little bit longer. It's been around longer. It was really used just for socializing at the beginning. And then, you know, Instagram can be more of a cold market at times. And obviously now so many of us have friends on Instagram, but so many of us are still trying to grow our Instagram. So I really, you guys, I want to say this about growing your Instagram. I encourage you guys, any group that you're in, like I have 3 going on right now that I'm leading. I have this one, there's 10,000 of them in here. I have Path to Progress. There's almost 30,000 in that one. And then I have the Diet Bet going on with like almost 6,000. When you're in there, talk, and don't talk like, don't be you don't have to talk salesy. Just like, hey guys, I'm on Instagram, would love for you to follow me, I'll follow you back, let's keep cheering each other on.
Yes.
That's a great way to just very easily invite people with nothing to sell at all other than like, I want more friends, come be my friend.
And it's so true, people are nosy. So like if you're in a group and you're like, you put a post up, people are like, she's kind of cute, click her profile, scroll your profile. So I do say on Facebook, whereas, okay, so how I kind of run my business is Instagram is where I find people. So Instagram is where I do all my hustle, I find the people, and my goal is to bring them over to Facebook so they can get to know me better. So my Facebook's a lot of my kids. It's like, what am I eating? It's like kind of just like get to know Jen in a more personal level. And Instagram is where I find the people and then I bring them over. But like we're talking about the groups, if you, I mean, we were talking tips. If we're talking like tips, the first thing you want to know is who are you targeting? Like all coaches need to know who they're trying to target, or else you're just putting a posts up or you're just joining random groups and it's kind of just like a Hail Mary. You're just like, I hope somebody likes something I post, but I don't know who I'm trying to target. But with niche market groups on Facebook, if you get into a group, so I use this one as an example. I like Teeks. They're like a flat, like a pair of ballet flats, but it has like a cult following. So there's this group with like 30,000 girls in there, and I don't post about Beachbody, and I don't post about, you know, this stuff, but I post in there as a Teeks lover. And what happens is people click my profile, then they scroll and they see, I mean, just recently I've had people message from that group like, what is that meal? Like, what? Tell me more about that. Because, and I do post anything about me, and that's the thing, like you're saying, you're just talking in there. You're just talking, but people are nosy, and they're like, who is this girl, and what is she doing? And I click her. So it's important for you guys, when you have your Facebook set up, what do they see when they come to your profile? Like, have you posted maybe not in a week? Like, or are you posting things that might not be relevant to your business? And also think about stuff you're posting that might be perceived as like controversial or negative. Or so if someone's never met you and they come to your profile, what does your cover photo look like? What does your profile picture look like? Is it a good first impression? And I have to say, I mean, you probably get these friend requests too, where I've got like someone friend request me that their picture is a lizard, and I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to be friends with the lizard? I'm not sure, you know? So I think.
Right, well, because you're like, what are you hiding? Like, let's be honest, we all get a little skeptical these
Right.
days, and we're like, why isn't there just a photo of you?
Right.
And then so you wonder if it's like a spam person or a creeper or
Right.
something, and then you don't end up friending them. Whereas, and look, the lizard might be your pet,
Right.
but it might just be that somebody would look at it and be like, I don't get it.
Right.
And so then they don't accept the friend request.
Right. And like, if it's our business, we have to say, I'm not the lizard or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, I'm me. And so have to make sure your profile picture, if that's someone's first impression, is of you. It's a clear picture. It's like visually appealing. Maybe it's you and your kid. Maybe it's you and your spouse, whatever. But where someone could be like, okay, I want to know more. And then your cover photo. I think for a long time we did very, I want to say salesy cover photos. I did it too. It was like Jen Richardson, Beachbody coach, this, that, and this. And it was like, okay, but I do think, as you said, like so many people are selling things on Facebook now that it might be an immediate turnoff if they come to your profile and they're like, she's selling something. Like,
Right, they're only looking to sell something.
Right.
Yeah. So we're getting a bunch of people asking the same question, which is how do you get more followers on Instagram? And I think that this is a huge question, and I know I definitely have my recommendations, but I'm going to let you go first, and then if I have other ones that aren't the same, I'll chime in afterwards. So for you, what are some tips that you do for gaining new followers?
so the method that I use right now is follow, unfollow, but let me specify how it works, because when I first heard there was a follow, unfollow method, I was like, well, that's rude. So you just follow people and then you turn on unfollow them. Like, I don't like that. But what I do is I follow, and I unfollow on Sundays, only the people that didn't follow back. Because I feel like if they didn't follow me back, I don't need to keep following them. So I do 100 follows a day. And
How many?
100 follows a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Monday through Friday. Saturdays, I take a break. And Sundays, I do my unfollows. So even if the last person I followed was on Friday, it gives them 2 days to follow back before they get an unfollow, you know?
And how are you picking who you're following, and how do you keep track of who to go back and unfollow?
Okay, so I have hashtag lists. So like we were talking about like your interests and your niche markets. So I think every coach needs to identify, or every person, anyone trying to build a business needs to identify like what niche market they're in. So for me, I'm like a mom of boys, and I live in Florida, so I kind of network that way, and I'm into yoga, so that's another niche. But I have hashtag lists for those things, and I go through those hashtag lists, and that's how I kind of collectively find those people. So maybe on Mondays, I target yoga people, and on Tuesdays, I might target moms, you know, and you kind of break it up through the week. And on Sundays, so there's an app called Cleaner for IG, which I can link these for them too, because I'm sure they'll ask, which app am I using to find
I'll
out?
ask for these in like your 5 tips when you email them to me. You can tell me, and then I'll put them all. If you guys have been looking, there's photo albums every week that goes up with the person I interviewed and their tips from that week. So in case you're like looking for what somebody said, you're like, they said something so good, but I don't remember where in the interview. You don't want to watch the whole hour again. I'm putting their tips up.
Okay, perfect. So I'll give my.
But what is it called?
It's called Cleaner for IG. There's one that's Cleaner for Instagram, but this one is actually Cleaner for IG. And it lets you sort by people that are not following you back. And it also lets you sort by ghost followers, which are people that follow you but like never comment and never like and never engage. And so those people I'll filter out once a month too, to keep it.
Oh.
Yeah, because we always want to be following less people than are following us. Like we want our followers number to be higher than our following. So you try to like keep it balanced. But that's how I find them. So I do that Monday through Friday. And then the other thing is engagement. So it can't just be follows, it has to be comments and likes. So I do 50 comments a day on some people that I'm already following, some new people, just whatever you want. And here's the thing with Instagram, they have to be relevant comments, because Instagram has caught on to people using bots, which you don't want to use a bot. Coaches never don't use a bot. You can get your Instagram shut down.
Doesn't work.
It's not good.
Yep.
So 4 words or more comments, and emojis don't count. And that's how Instagram ranks your account. So if you're leaving legit comments and genuine comments, Instagram ranks your account as a very relevant and a very strong, engaging account. and it'll rank your post higher. So you know how when you log into Instagram and you see a post maybe it's from 3 days ago, like Instagram doesn't have it chronologically anymore. Right. So those accounts are more relevant. Like they were doing good engagement-wise, so Instagram ranks them higher. So the more you comment on other people, and the more you like, and the more you follow genuine accounts, Instagram ranks you higher. Plus, people are more likely to come back to you and follow you.
You guys,
Engage.
this is right here. This is like social media gold for anybody who's watching, because so many people don't know this, right? Like Instagram has changed so much in the last 2 years. Like everybody, like so many people still think it's a live feed, and it's so not. Like if your photos don't get a certain number of likes right away, they don't get shown to the rest of the people. So sometimes, you know, you happen to post it at the right time of day and it blows up with likes, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I got so many likes. And then other times you post something that you think is going to do great and you're like, I got nothing on that. And it was like, you just so happen to post it at a time of day when maybe your followers weren't looking as much and they didn't like it. And so it got shoved to the bottom and it just doesn't get seen.
Right.
So there's all these tips and tricks, and what you're getting right now is genius. So like the follow, unfollow, that's awesome. The commenting, that's so like, and getting ranked, that's so important for not just for growing your account, but for people really like being engaged. And the more, like, so many people want to be social media influencers now, and it's like you have to do all this. It is a business.
Right.
Like it has to be treated as such.
Totally.
Sorry, keep going. I love.
No, it's so true. I mean, and it is. It's so true. Whether it's like we're coaches and we're trying to sell a product, but we also are trying to grow our brand in itself. So, and I think it's important too. And this is, I'll say this with love, but I notice a lot of coaches when they sign up, it becomes all Beachbody. It becomes them drinking their shake, them doing their workout. Here's my video. Here's my selfie, and it becomes too much for someone that doesn't. As you're growing your brand, you need to be kind of diverse in how you're sharing. So, like for me, if I just posted all Beachbody, I would lose like my mom following. Because I think sometimes moms will follow me not because they want to do fitness, but because they resonate that I'm a mom of 2 boys and they're a mom of 2 boys or whatever, you know? But as they get to know me, then they're like, well, she looks good. Like maybe I want to do that workout too. And maybe I never thought of it. But if you share too much about just the workout, then I feel like you might turn people off. So it's important to have a diverse niche market, target market, what you're sharing, you know?
Yeah, you guys, look, I'm going to throw myself under the bus right now, okay? So obviously, what has it been, 3 weeks since we've been back from Mexico? Okay, and we wrapped up the huge 80-day obsession test through the day before we left for Mexico. So between social media and my inbox, it's like flooded with, and the group, flooded with before and after photos, okay, which I love. So I'm over here like constantly posting people's before and afters. I want to make sure I'm celebrating everybody and that sort of thing. But what I've noticed is there was like a distinct turn, and not bad, but like there's definitely been a drop in the engagement on the before and after photos in like the last week or so of like people are like, cool, we get it. So I'm like, okay. Time to go back to my regular life.
Right.
Like time to just post my regular life again and be like, hey, it's not only good. I'm not trying to just jam this down your throat.
Right.
Like,
and see, people love that. They love your, like I said, people are nosy. Like they want to see the behind the scenes you. And even like, sometimes I'm like, I'm so bored. I'm just in my house. And you probably don't feel like that, but I mean, for me, I'm like, who wants to watch
trust me, you guys, I'm so boring.
No,
like, I was on my couch like watching movies last night in bed at 9 o'clock.
People love that because they feel like they can relate, you know? And so it's always that like random stuff that people are like, I'm boring. I'm like, no, share the boring stuff because people connect with that. Like they want to see that mundane, like day-to-day stuff. I had one coach and she's like, well, I work full time. I'm in a cubicle all day. Like who wants to see that? And I'm like, listen, I was behind a cubicle for years in PR, and there's some fun stuff happening behind the scenes of like office life, but we don't think so because we're sitting there behind the cubicle and we're not thinking like that could be anything relevant. But share the stuff, the day-to-day stuff, because then when you weave in the fitness stuff, there's so much more likely watch because they're like, she's real, she lives a real life, she does these workouts, she eats this way, but she still is doing XYZ. She's just a regular person. So I think it's just important to make sure you're sharing everything and not just the fitness stuff. And we all do it. So if you're doing it right now, like, don't feel bad. I look back at my time hop from like 2014. Wasn't that when 21 Day Fix came out?
Yes.
Because that's all I posted. Like, that was it. It was like, look at my shake. I'm like, it was just so much. And I mean, I think you're going to get people regardless of how you do it because you're sharing a certain way. But I've noticed now if I'm sharing just a more diverse, you know, kind of real Jen, what she does, and then my fitness stuff, you're just going to attract more people. So I would try to do that.
I'm going to hit you with a hard question, maybe. And I don't want you to feel like it's like a taboo topic. It's an interesting question because I'm getting asked the question a lot privately right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we launched 2B Mindset like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Great. It's doing great. Okay. So love it. First of all, just in case anybody's wondering, there's no competition. Okay. There's none. Like, I know everybody wants to assume there is, but what I'm getting asked a lot, like, I don't know what to do because for 80 days I've been talking about 80 days, right. And now I'm going to talk about something that's so different. And what I'm seeing, what I'm watching is people go completely, like they were like 80 day, time nutrition, it's great. And then all of a sudden, because everybody wants to sell, right? They're like, they're only talking about 2B, which I totally get. It's like the new product. But they're like, what do I do? Because people still wanted to know about 80 Day Obsession, but I feel like if I don't talk about 2B, I'm going to miss out. So do you have a way that whether it was like these, like it doesn't matter. These are the two programs that are sort of falling one behind the other right now. And in a few weeks, it's going to be 2B and then it's going to be Lift 4. And people are going to be like, oh, do I stop talking about 2B and only talk about Lift? You know, like, so what is your suggestion about making sure that you don't cut your sort of nose off despite your face because you've got a fitness thing over here that, yes, has a nutrition program, but then you've got this other nutrition. So what do you recommend to people about talking about both so that they keep both going?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because I was hoping you were going to bring this up, but I didn't want to bring it up. You didn't bring it up. Here's the thing. We have to think as coaches that there is going to be no one program that's going to work for everybody. So, I mean, me and myself, I'm already getting messages from people that are like, this 2B is too not structured. I know we talked about this the other day, Autumn, but like I've got people that are like, this isn't structured enough for me. I need my containers. Like I need specifics. I need you to tell me what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it. I need that. And then other people are going to be like, I need something more relaxed. I'm just not a structured person. And so you honestly, coaches, if you are doing that, if you are like going from 80 day to this and being like, well, that was the way, but now this is the way. Like, no, like we can never talk like that. Like the best way to position this is Beachbody now has something for everybody. So when you're talking your potential, you're going to be like, you know, what kind of personality are you? Like, do you like really organized things? Are you very structured? Do you want someone to tell you like, eat at this time, eat this at this time? Like, do you like that? Or do you like being given like a very loose model of eating? Like, do you like something where you're doing really intense, fun workouts? Or do you like something where you're probably not working out or maybe you're doing yoga? And you're going to find, guys, that you have two very different kinds of people. Some people are going to be like, I had people that said to me, what do you mean there's no working out? Like, I need to work out. I need my endorphins. Like, I have to. And I'm like, well, okay, then there's this. And I know we kind of talked about not doing portion fix with 2B, but I do tell my girls, like, you have your containers. Don't be afraid to use them if you want to measure it out on your plate. Like, so never go from one to the other. And like you said, we're always going to be launching new stuff. And while these two different plans, they're different, they're just for two different kinds of people. Honestly, I mean, that's really what it is. And you're never going to have a customer that wants to do it just 2B way. And you'll never have a customer that just wants to do it 21 Day Fix or 80 Day Obsession way. Like, you're going to have different kinds of people. So if you stop talking about one, you're going to lose all the other people that might have done it the other way. So when I'm talking to a new customer, if they're talking to me like, tell me more about 2B, I'm not going to just tell them about 2B. I'm going to say, tell me more about you. Like, what are your goals? What's your personality like? What are you hoping to achieve? And I think for some people, they need the reassurance of like a day 1 and a day 80, or like a day 1 and a day 25. Well, we can't give that with 2B. And some people are like, well, I don't really care about a start date and an end date. So you guys think about these things. Like, think about these things when you're talking to your potential. Like, what are their goals and what do they want? And you have to position the conversation to what's best going to fit them. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I keep hearing it too. And
I love what you just said. And and the whole reason I brought it up, right, is because when I talk about it, it's like, it's automatically assumed, well, she's talking about it from a place of like, sell my product. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not what I'm trying to tell you at all. Like, that's exactly it. There is always going to be room for more. There's always going to be different ways to do it. But as a coach, the one thing I do want to warn people against, and I was actually talking with some people at corporate about this, as I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like they're about to leave. Like, let me talk money for a second. I feel like they're about to leave so much money sitting on the table. And they're like, why? And I'm like, we literally we built all this momentum up on 80-day obsession. The results rolled in.
right.
And they talked about it for a day or two, but we flipped to 2B. And I was like, and that's great. Like, that's great that they're talking about 2B. But what about all the people that still want to do fitness? Like, Lift 4 isn't here yet.
Right.
And I would hope that everybody's goal as a coach is to be like, hey, let me introduce you to healthy nutrition, but that you want to eventually transition them to some version of our fitness programs, whether it's 3-week yoga retreat or PiYo or Core to Force or 21, whatever it is, right? The goal is to hopefully eventually get people moving if they're not doing their own fitness thing already.
Right.
So you just want to make sure, and I'll say one thing in here, because this is our lovely closed group, you don't ever know what's coming next. And yes, I will leave that as a lovely little hint to all of you. You don't ever know what's coming next. So you want to be very careful how you word things and how you position it, that you don't only ever say, this is the next way.
Right.
And I did talk about this, like I said, a few weeks ago when we first launched. I said, talk about them both and find out what your client needs. And that is the best way. So I love that we just said that together. And that hopefully people run with that, because I think that that's really important. I got 15 new customers from playing 80-day obsession results in April and May. Awesome.
Yes.
Love that. And I'm sure you'll get new customers from showing 2B results too. So
I think it's good, like you said, like, you want to be able to show them kind of like a transition. So if you get a customer that's like, I have 100 pounds to lose, I might not be ready to do an intense workout. But here's the thing, like, you might get them to a point with 2B where they lose 30 pounds. Say it's 30 pounds. But at the end of the day, you can lose, and this is my belief, and maybe it's your belief too, but like, you can lose all this weight, but if you don't work out, you are not going to be toned. Like, you can lose weight with nutrition, but at the end of the day, if we want to have muscle definition, if we want to lean out, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to move our bodies some way. So I think with 2B and having the concept of, you don't have to work out if you don't want to, and this and that. I mean, Alana works out. Like, she does work out. So I want to dispel that. If any of you guys were under the impression, like, we should only be talking about no workouts, Beachbody On Demand is our bread and butter along with Shakeology. So, like, let's not forget, like, we have to sell the fitness too. So my platform of how I'm doing it is with 2B, I'm pushing the challenge pack where you're getting Beachbody On Demand and you're getting 2B together, because my goal is to transition them into fitness after the first month. That's my personal game plan, like, for my customers. And guys, think about this deal too. You've got, Beachbody On Demand, you've got 2B, and then Shakeology for free. So now you're getting them as an HD customer and you're rolling that in. And that's how I position it. I'm like, you got your fitness, you got your nutrition here, and then you got Shakeology for free. And then after that first month, getting them comfortable with that one thing, be like, all right. And for me, 21 Day Fix is just how I do it, is always the next program I phase people into, because it never scares anybody off. Like, they're like, I can do this. Like, I can do this, Then you can phase them into the next program. So have a game plan when you sign your customer up with 2B, if that's what you're doing. Where am I putting them next? You always want to be thinking the next step ahead, kind of like how to, not, I mean, we're talking money, it's a business. Like, you don't want to just $99. Once they pay that for 2B, what's next? How are you getting residuals off this person? So you need to be kind of grooming them from day one to go to the next thing, for sure.
Yes, love that. So, okay, so we're gonna switch topics a little bit. Obviously, we're still talking social media. So, so often people ask, like, do I have to have a theme to my whatever social media page, right, that they have, whether it's their Instagram or I mean, obviously Instagram tends to be where the majority of the action is, and I feel like a lot of times people get overwhelmed and caught up in the, like, everything has to be so beautiful and so perfect that they just don't do anything.
Yeah.
So do you have any recommendations on that? On, like, do you suggest people sort of pick a color scheme or pick a filter they always use? Or
so I always wanted to be that person that used, like, the same filter. It just never has worked for me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's like, if I use the same filter, I end up looking orange in one and, like, normal. I don't know. It does not work for me. I think go with a theme. So I'll use myself as an example. And for those of you guys who know Stephanie Davies, I like to use her as an example too, because we have totally different themes going, but neither of us use, like, a same filter on each picture. But my pictures are bright and clear and colorful. That's kind of me. So that's what I go for with my pictures. It's, like, kind of clear and bright. And then Steph Davies, she does very muted neutrals. They're kind of dark and kind of moody, but beautiful. Like, her imagery is very pretty. So I would say instead of finding, like, I know a lot of people use that VSCO app, and you can, like, use color presets and whatnot. It got really confusing for me trying to have them all at the same, tint. So I just didn't do that. I would say, like, what kind of pictures would you look at? Like, what are you attracted to? So for me, I like brights. I like colors. I like white. But some people like those muted colors, and they like kind of, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have, like, a vision of what's appealing to you. So if you're trying to attract somebody to you, the chances are you both like the same kind of imagery. So follow that and keep that theme. So I think that some people might do, like, a lot of blacks and whites, and some people do a lot of colors. There's a lot of people I follow on Instagram. I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do it. It looks like they've got somebody following them around, and they've got, like, their perfect candids, really, like, looking up.
Right, and it's just like, oh, I just pose every 5 seconds. I'm like, my life is way too messy.
It's too messy. And then I feel like those people, while they might have a big following, I feel like for what we do, we need to attract those people that we're relatable to. So if you are too perfect or everything's so pretty and so posed, I feel like it's almost doing you a disservice, because people need to see a little bit of the messy. Like, make sure you're showing, like, maybe you're all dressed up and dolled up one day, but then one day you've got a big messy bun on your head and you're dripping in sweat, because that's real life. So I would make sure your social media is, I try to do, clean pictures, pretty pictures. If you've got, like, a pile of your kids' laundry behind you, maybe push it to the side a little bit. And people ask, like, what I do for headshots. I have, like, this $30 pop-up white backdrop I got from Amazon. Again, can link it for you. And I just pop it up behind me. I have a Diva light that's my phone's in right now, and 2-second.
Mine too. You can see it glowing back here.
2-second headshot right there. It doesn't have to be complicated, so you guys don't overcomplicate it, and keep it real. I will say this, Instagram tip. It used to be like posting 3 times a day, and Instagram's algorithm doesn't really like you posting 3 times a day anymore. They like you posting once a day. So I'll try to post once a day and do the rest in my stories. So I try to do 10 stories a day, at least. And I do 1 post a day. And obviously your post on your feed is going to be your cleaner, more polished picture. And your Instagram story is going to be like a hot mess, which it kind of should be. But yeah, I would say instead of sticking with trying to have like a filter that you always use or a theme, kind of just like have a general like aesthetics of like what you find visually appealing. I know a lot of people do those grid patterns. Have you seen those where they have like, so
I can't figure them out.
I tried doing it for a while. Like it got really hard. But what's funny is I did a poll on my Instagram stories, what people thought about them. Overwhelmingly, people voted they don't like them. They think that, yeah, like people are like, it makes it seem like you're trying too hard. And I was like, okay, taking that and running with it. Like, you know,
Yeah, like you're like, good. That means I don't have to try so hard.
I'm like, perfect, thank you. But I thought that was really interesting. So the stuff that we think we're doing to like make people like us more, or the stuff that's making them be like, it feels fake.
Yeah, you're no longer relatable.
Yeah.
You guys, one of the apps that I use, it literally costs, okay, I bought the pro version of it on purpose. It's called Ripple, R-I-P-L, okay? So anytime you see my motivational posts now, and they all, you'll see they're in the same color scheme, which is like my teal and my white, because that's kind of my color, clearly. And you'll see most of them are like white background, black lettering, and you see my AC logo at the bottom right-hand corner. Ripple is so great. It literally takes me 5 seconds. I type in whatever the motivational quote is or that I want to post. It gives me the option to add a photo to the post or not. So sometimes you'll see I add a photo. And it has like literally hundreds of different layouts that you can choose from. So depending on how fancy you want to make it, you can do that. I tend to go with more of the simple ones. Like I said, clean white, just the quote, my logo. But I picked the pro version. It just unlocked some more features for me. It's Ripple again, R-I-P-L, and it just makes it really easy so that you can, if you want to have a little bit of a theme / color or same format for like that kind of stuff, that you can. So then you have those mixed in with your more like normal, here's a photo.
I love that.
Here's a da-da-da. And then there's a new, it's not new, it's new to me. It's a video app. And I literally, like, I search video apps on the regular because I always want to post videos for you guys, like showing you new fitness moves and stuff, but I'm really terrible at editing. Like, I'm horrible at it. And there is a new one, and I'm going to forget what it's called, but I will look it up and post it when we're done. I'll look at my phone and see what it is. And it's like, the easiest thing. I made a video with it the other day, learned it, and I was like, oh, this is one of those easy ones. Like, that just makes your life easy. And I can tell you, I couldn't get my lighting right at all for it. And it has different filters. And one of the filters just is like, bam, it lights the whole thing up.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, no, I don't have to stress about the lighting. Like, so I will share that with you guys, what that one is. Do you have any other apps that you like to use for creating content?
So I would say my favorite app is Pick-Tap-Do. Pick-Tap-Do is my favorite app, and that's like an editing app. But for me, so VSCO, I don't know if people say that, if that's how, VSCO is the app, but everyone was telling me that's like the best photo editing app. I don't know, I think it makes my pictures look kind of weird sometimes, like too edited. But Pick-Tap-Do, like you can just brighten it or add a little color or warm it up, cool it down. So that's my favorite editing app. And then for videos, I use Video Shop. That's what I use. But
that might be what it is.
Yeah. I do think it's like pretty easy. I think it's like orange is red, like with a little video camera.
I think that might be the one I just got.
Yeah, that's like the only one that I can seem to figure out, and I've been like trying to get. But videos are great. Like people love to see videos, and I think you have like 60 seconds on your Instagram post.
So you get a full minute now on Instagram, your feed, 15 seconds on your stories. And I do think, you guys, I think videos are great, especially if you're demoing workouts, right? Like, because it's just a little bit different than like your sweaty selfie. If you're like, here's my, like, you can pick a favorite move from your workout that you did that day, right? You don't have to create new moves.
Right.
Like, it's not like you're not trying to say I'm the trainer.
Right.
You're trying to get them to buy the program if you want. So you could be like, here's my favorite ab move I did today, or oh my gosh, I did this booty move today. My butt was on fire. Try it out. You want more like it? Talk to me. I got a pro. You know, like things like that. So it doesn't have to be like this whole big elaborate production, but like one or two moves, I do think is a fun different way for people to see what you're doing.
Totally agree. And if you guys show, I find that when I do like the full out move and then I show a modifier, like I get more people that are like, oh wow, I love how you modified that. I didn't think I could do that full out burpee, but now that I saw like the modified one, I feel like, you know what I mean? So I think if you're doing a move of the day, which is such a good idea, do like full out version and show modified. So you're appealing to both kinds of people and not like singling anyone out. Like, oh, I couldn't do that. That looks too hard. I can do it this way. But
and again, you should know what the modification is because it's in the video.
right, exactly.
So you watch from there. I think that's awesome. I see a lot of people posting different apps that they like.
I know, I'm seeing these, but I'm like, the OCD in me wants to like get a spreadsheet out and let's start writing them down.
I know. I'll make a list when I put up this week's post of like your tips and everything. I'll go through these comments and I'll pull what apps everybody was saying they like. I know Triller is like one that Christina Delgado uses. I haven't figured that one out. I tried really hard. I was so confused. I was like, somebody's gonna have to sit down and teach me this one.
I haven't figured it out yet.
So let me ask you. So we've been talking mostly about Instagram. So Facebook, do you really use Facebook more as like your challenge groups?
Yeah.
Like, so do you keep the content over there very different than what's going on Instagram?
Yeah, I feel like on Facebook it's very personal. Like I don't share as much about my kids over on like Instagram. It's very like me, my branding, that, and then Facebook is like get to know me. I'll post about my husband, I'll post about my kids, I post about their school, I post about that stuff. But I feel like when you've established a relationship over on Instagram and you've got these people that you're networking with, they need to see you like a little bit better. Like they need to like get to know you a little bit deeper. But I will say with Facebook, like you were talking about those groups, I have quite a few like niche market groups that I'm very active in, so that people are always kind of like seeing what I'm doing, but I'm not talking Beachbody. I'm just like networking in there. But that's why it's so important, guys, that you are sharing stuff about Beachbody on your personal page, so that if people do come back to your profile, they see what you're talking about. They see what you're doing. And I'll tell you something I kind of do strategically. Like if I'm about to do like call to action or something that I want like a lot of people to see, I will post it and then I will go into all my niche market groups and I'll post something kind of like ballsy, like something that's going to grab their attention. So that post in that group gets a lot of traction. And so they're more likely to click my profile. And then what's the first thing they see? My call to action. So, but I didn't talk about it. It was them being nosy coming over to my page. You know what I mean? So I think, guys, try to be really intentional on what you're posting and when you're posting it, to get like the most eyes on what you're doing. And I think I saw somebody ask about like how I know about these algorithm changes. I'm like a big dork with like Instagram stuff and like trying to understand the algorithm. So I'm in quite a few like message board groups and different groups that talk about how the algorithms work. And you know, Facebook and Instagram are tied together now. So sometimes when one changes, the other changes. And for those of you guys who have been posting on Facebook lately and feel like your traction has gone down, I know I've noticed it. I mean, like looking at last year, you look at the time hop and I'm like, that picture got like 300 likes and it was like not that great. Like this post was awesome. Like why is there not as many likes? But it's just Facebook trying to figure out like, what are you posting about? When are you posting? They do want to make sure that we're not running business on our personal page. Like they want us to pay for ads. So be strategic in how you're posting it. If you have a post that you put out where Facebook they have like a bot that scans your captions. If they catch things in your post that look like you're trying to sell or look like you're trying to push someone into somewhere else, they will rank your post low. So I do a lot of breadcrumbing, in which we should all be doing, you know, kind of hinting at things and that. So Facebook won't penalize you for the post and it'll get better traction. But I would say,
so when you say breadcrumbing, can you give me an example of like what would be a breadcrumb post? Because a lot of people probably are like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, so like so I'll give coaching as an example because I do a lot of these. I'll be at the beach with my kids and I'll be like, you know, if you had asked me a few years ago if I would be able to take the afternoon off and be at the beach with my kids, I didn't think that would ever be possible. Like, I'm so thankful for a job that allows me to do this. I was just at field day with my kids the other day. The post was about being at field day, but I put in there, I'm just like, so thankful for a job that allows me to do this and be with my kids. So I'm not talking about coaching, but I am talking about coaching. And it's going to pull heartstrings with someone that they want that too. So always kind of slip it in there.
Right. I love that though, because it's so not aggressive in any way. It's so relatable and just like, well, why am I stuck in this cubicle not out enjoying field day with my kid? What is she doing? And they'll probably click on it to try to prove themselves right. Like, well, she's probably like some big wig or some da 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 da. Like, and then they're like, wait,
She's regular.
It's a job that's available to literally everybody and anybody. Okay, well, let me learn more about that.
Right. Exactly. And it just makes it relatable. I saw someone say, where do you post calls to actions on Facebook? So that's a personal thing for every individual coach. So for me, posting a call to action on Facebook, I get a lot of coaches that respond to it. Like, I would love to join your group, but I'm like, no, wrong demographic. So my calls to actions I keep on Instagram just for my personal, it's going to be different for everybody. So like I said at the beginning, what is your Facebook? Is it warm market? Who's on your Facebook versus who's on your Instagram? And so it really is going to depend. You're going to want to do a call to action where you have the most people that you think would reply. Maybe both,
And I think that's really important to point out, you guys, about, obviously a lot of times you'll get a different Beachbody coach responding to you. And it's great. I know I talked to my older sister about this a lot when she was just starting with her coaching like a year ago. She's like, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage as your sister. And I was like, why? And she's like, because the only people that respond to me are Beachbody coaches. And while I love them and I'm happy to help, that doesn't help my business. And so it took her a little while to learn in her own voice how to be like, thank you for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. But like, this is only for people who aren't already a coach. So if that happens, just, know that it's your choice whether or not you want to have another coach come into your group, and be very careful that it doesn't appear that you're trying to poach somebody else's coach.
That's where we want to be careful.
You got to be really careful, about not stepping on toes, because we don't want to do that.
That's the line I use. I'm like, we don't want to step on toes. So, but yeah, I mean, and I think the great thing about our community too is if you need a post, like kind of blowing up a post, your Beachbody coaches are going to be the best people for that. If you put a post up and you want to get traction on it, Facebook doesn't know that it's your fellow coaches commenting on it. So post in your group like, hey guys, I just made this really vulnerable post. Like, would you show it some love? Like, use our network for what it is. Like, we're a community trying to support each other. So use each other to boost it up.
Yes. So I still see some people probably joined the conversation a little bit late, and some people are still saying, how do you grow your Instagram followers? And Jen gave such amazing detail earlier, and when she gives me her tips, I'm going to post all of those later for you guys. But what I will say is this too, and obviously, for me, I can use everything that Jen said, and I will. But I have my other similar ways of doing it, where I would search hashtags as well. I used to have this game that I would do, like when I very first started working for Beachbody, before I ever quit as a trainer at the gym, I was doing both. So when I would do my 5 to 10 minute warm up on the treadmill before starting my workout, that 10 minutes is when I would like photos on Instagram. So I had my hashtag list, whether it was like health, fitness, mama boys, nutrition, and I would, under each hashtag, I would like 30 photos. Now you got to be careful that you don't do it too fast, because you'll get flagged for that, right? You can't tap like this, because they'll shut you down for 24 to 48 hours. But I would tap 1, scroll 2 or 3, tap 1, scroll 2 or 3, and again, looking for ones that would sort of be relatable to me, obviously. And that 10 minutes, I could 100 posts, 200 posts easily. And then those people, you have to remember, so many of these people also have very small followings. So when they see somebody liking it, especially somebody that has higher numbers, they're like, who's that? Then they come follow. And even if you don't have high numbers, it's okay. So again, that is one way. But again, looking at those hashtags again, commenting on people's posts that aren't already a Beachbody coach. And again, not necessarily saying, come over, look what I have. Because I will tell you guys, I delete those kind of posts off of my posts. Like when I see somebody come onto my page and try to sell their product on my post, swipe, block, swipe, delete. Yeah. So what you want to do is be like, oh my God, you look amazing. Congratulations. Or such a cool picture. Things like that. So that they don't delete you off of their thing and block. Because that's never the goal.
And guys, for sure, so I get this a lot where coaches are like, I don't know how you move through this so quickly to follow 100 people in a day. I don't understand how you do that. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. And so this is kind of a funny little exercise that I started doing probably 2 years ago. But there's this podcast girl, Jasmine Star, and I watched this interview that she did where she said, create an avatar. So you create this avatar, which is kind of like your ideal coach. She's your ideal coach. Give her a name, give her traits, give her a family, give her a life. But she's your ideal person. So when you're going through these people, you're like, my avatar is Berkeley. Her name is Berkeley. I give her like a job and this and that. Very specific. So when I'm following people, I'm like, would Berkeley be friends with her? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, follow. But you have to have a very clear vision of who you're trying to attract and who you're trying to follow, or you will take forever when you're doing this. So if you do the work, so displaypurposes.com is the website I use to generate hashtags. So I go to that and I do all of the legwork and I create my hashtag list and I have them. So and I have my avatar. So I know what hashtags I'm using and I know what kind of people I'm trying to attract. So when I go into my hashtag list, it's so easy for me to follow people because I have a very clear vision of who I'm trying to attract. But I think what happens is coaches will get a hashtag and they'll go through and they'll click the hashtag and they'll start looking at people and they're like, okay, I clicked on her. Let me scroll her page. Let me look at some posts. Let me read. And 5 minutes later, you're still on the same person. No, that is not the way you want to do it. That's too time consuming. It's too tedious. The other thing people ask me is tracking. Do you track every single person? No, I don't track every single person. I only track 10 people a month. The only people I track are the ones that I want to sign up to coach. So if they're not someone I want to sign up to coach, they don't get written down. Only those people. Everyone else is just trying to bring new faces to your page, to bring new people to your page. So you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to overanalyze it. When you're doing your comments, quick look at their picture, something about it that grabs you. I try to ask questions because I do find if I ask them a question, they're more likely to respond and they're more likely to go back to my page. So I'll be like, oh my gosh, love those shoes. Where'd you get them? Or your hair looks amazing. What product do you use? Just whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever kind of stuff. But I actually do want to know what kind of product they use. You know what I mean? So like it's relevant to what you want to know, but it gets them kind of, okay, she's actually engaging with me. I'm responding. I'm going to go over to her page. So think of stuff like that when you're commenting or following.
The other big thing, you guys, let me just say this, is be really careful. Like, look, we all like to follow our favorite bigwigs, right? Like people that have like millions of followers, right? Celebrities and that sort of thing. But don't get caught up in only following people with huge numbers, right? Because more than likely, those are the ones that aren't going to see you. You know, when somebody's got 20, 30, 40, hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, you are lost in the thing. When somebody has 40 or 50 or 100, they actually, like, to that person, your like or your comment means so much. Because they might only get a comment a day. Like, and then they see this person and they're like, so-and-so, like, oh, I wonder how this person even found me. That's so cool. You know, like it really excites them. They're going to be the one to come over and follow back and show interest. Right. More so than the person that has 20 and 30,000 followers where you're like, oh my God, what if I could coach a celebrity? Well, that would be great, but more than likely they all have chefs and trainers and that sort of thing.
It's true. It's so true. Go for the people that you have more likely of a chance for them to be. I mean, and I only have like 35,000 people, and it's so hard for me to see because it only tells you so many notifications at once. So if you're getting new followers, it's hard to see all the people that are following. So I would say, like, look for that 40 to maybe 500-ish follower range and like go after those kind of people. People ask if I follow private accounts. I don't usually, because to me, if someone's making their account private, they don't want you to find them, so leave them alone. I don't know. I just think, I mean, unless you know them, like you're sending them a private request, I just probably wouldn't. There's so many public profiles to like go through. And the other thing too, the cold message, okay? I get it. We want people to join our challenge group. We're excited. We want to sign a new coach. But unless you have talked to this person in some way, shape, or form, don't send them a cold message asking them to join your challenge group right off the bat. I just can't imagine. Can you imagine ever saying, yes, I'd love to buy your product. I've never talked to you, and you're assuming that I want to lose weight and I want to join your group and pay money. Like, it just never goes well. So I feel like comment on their posts about their kids, comment on their posts about what they're wearing, like their food pictures, just kind of converse with them so they see your name show up before you send the invite. And if you're going to invite someone to coaching, please make sure you go to their profile and make sure that they are not already a coach, or they're not, you know, I got recruited 3 times yesterday. And I was like, did you even did you look at my profile? Like, just take the time, take a couple of minutes, scroll through their pictures. If they're doing 80-day obsession, they probably have a coach or they are a coach. You know what I mean? So just look, just do a little bit of research. And I think that the cold message thing can work if you do it right. Just start off commenting first, liking their posts, responding to their stories, and then send the invitation after you've already gained a rapport with them. But I just can't imagine buying something from someone that I've never talked to. I mean, there's so many MLMs, and I get the hair people, or, you know, and nobody wants to, you never want to assume that someone needs your product. So this one girl messaged me, and she was like, your hair looked a little dry in your last picture. I have this product that would be great for that. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to buy your product after you just insulted me.
Rude.
So no. So think about the way you're approaching somebody. You know, if you're approaching someone about a challenge group, you have to think about the way you're saying it, because you don't want them to feel like you're telling them they need to lose weight or that they need to do this. So just take a second before you send any message and ask yourself, if someone sent this to me, how would I take it? How would I, you know? And I just think that's so important, for sure.
You made a really good point. I'm going to say this, and then I don't want to keep you all night because it is Mother's Day and that sort of thing. And you are on the East Coast. So, okay, here's my little down and dirty for you guys. Okay, when you are searching hashtags, you don't want to search the Beachbody hashtags. Those, like Jen just said, are all the ones that probably are already, they're involved in our community. They probably already have a coach or are a coach. So here's my down and dirty. Go after the competitors. Go after the Tone It Up community, the Kayla Itzstein community. Go after the Herbalife community. Go after the keto community. The ones that you know are they have people who are definitely interested in these sort of at-home types of products. And again, it's not you're just liking a photo, right? They don't know that you're searching them out, or you're just wow, congratulations, you look amazing, you lost so much weight, whatever. But yeah, if you're searching Beachbody coach, 2B mindset, 80-day obsession, these are people who are already in it. They do you no good. Aside from making new friends. So if you want to make a new friend, cool, Jillian Michaels, if you want to go after that.
Yeah, that's smart.
But those are the ones. Look, Denise Austin, her daughter Katie Austin is doing stuff right now. So all these people have these communities that you can look. People poach us all the time, right? So again, as long as you're not doing it in a really rude, tacky way, I think it's perfectly acceptable to go like somebody's photo.
Totally.
So
and it's a great way to do your follows too. So for me, I go after mom bloggers. So I'll go to big mom blogger accounts, and I'll go to their profile, and I'll look at the people commenting on their pictures. Follow. You know, they're not coaches. They're in a totally different community. Just like Tone It Up, these other things, they're not in our wheelhouse. So to me, they're fair game too, because they might like our products better than what they're doing right now. They might like you better than what they're doing right now. You don't know.
And what I do know is that they like to use our hashtags. I've seen plenty of Tone It Up posts that hashtag 80-day obsession. I'm like, oh, you have got to be kidding me.
It's so funny.
But you guys, look, that's business.
Yeah.
Right? That's how, so it's normal. So you just, like I said, the point is, don't go after the people that are already with us.
Right.
You got to find the new and fresh meat, if you will. So, Jen, do you have any other tips for us before we go? Did we cover almost everything? What do you think?
I think so. To sum it up, and I'll type them out for you, but I think, first of all, you got to know who you're trying to attract. You need to know who your target market is, know what your niche market is, and then you want to develop a hashtag list that revolves around that market so that you know who to kind of go after, who you're trying to look for. Make sure you're intentionally posting. So do you have a game plan of why you're posting something? So something I do is if I've got a free group coming up, I'll post a lot about whatever that free group's about. Before that I post it, when I make my invites, I've already been kind of breadcrumbing about that. So intentional posting. Be strategic when you post. If it's 11 p.m. at night and you're on the West Coast, don't post because your East Coast people won't see it. They'll already be sleeping. So just think about intentionally posting, and then visually, you want visually appealing posts. So whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Instagram stories, try to be creative in the way that you're displaying things so that people want to look at your pictures. Use apps like the ones we mentioned, PicTapGo or VSCO or Snapseed or whatever, to kind of try to make them a little bit prettier. Videos, doing the videos, implementing those into your stories, into your social media. So I'll type them all out, kind of like those websites and stuff we talked about too, but I think we covered
Right. Yeah, I think that was amazing. So much valuable information. I'm going to add one more thing for you guys. On your Instagram account, on the top right-hand page of your actual profile page, you'll see 3 little bars. If you tap those bars, it opens up all of your stats. And under your stats, not only will it tell you where your biggest followers are from, like what cities, what the percentages of men to women, what age range, it will tell you the days and the time of day that your posts get the most likes. So if you're like, oh, Wednesday at 3 is when is my highest bar, then Wednesdays at 3 should be your call to action post.
Right.
Or if it's like Tuesday at 9 p.m., then Tuesday at 9 p.m. should be your call to action post. Like, look at that stuff. That stuff is really, really valuable information for your business. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Jen, thank you for taking time not only out of your Sunday, but out of your Mother's Day. Thank you, everybody, for watching. So for next week, we're going to keep with a similar theme. Last week was all about using Instagram stories. This week is just going to be about using your Instagram and growing your followers, okay? There's no judgment, by the way. When I pick the people, I pick you guys randomly as long as you've attempted the task. So, I'll ask you next week, what did you do? So basically, take a photo of your followers today. You'll take a photo of your followers on Saturday. It doesn't matter if they didn't go up, but your job is, for the week, is to focus on trying to grow that a little bit. So doing all the things that Jen and I just talked about, and I have a really, really fun prize for you guys next week as well. So get to it. I'm going to do the post tonight so that you guys can all tell me what you did last week, and I can pick this past week's winners from IG stories. So again, Jen, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next Sunday, same time, same place. Good night. Bye. What's up, guys?